Hey, sis. When I was single, I found a dating coach who described herself as the high value woman. And she worked with clients who were high value women. And at the time, it was a concept that was a little bit foreign to me. And I never heard of a high value woman. And maybe you haven't. Maybe you've never heard of that phrase, high value woman. Maybe you've never heard the phrase high value man. Or maybe you've heard of it and you're kind of wondering in your head, what exactly is that? Like, what exactly does that mean? And I would like to propose to you that more than anything, a high value woman has high value thoughts. Now, in my coaching practice, I teach that our thoughts create our feelings, and our feelings fuel our actions, and then our actions determine our results. But our results ultimately come from our thoughts. Sometimes we think that circumstances determine our results. It's just not true. Our thoughts create our feelings fuel our actions, and then our actions determine our results. And the wonderful thing is that thoughts are completely optional. They are your choice. You get to choose to think whatever you want to think. And what I thought I'd share with you today is some high value thoughts that will be a total game changer in your journey to find your person. The first thought that I want you to think about is the phrase that what is meant for you is not going to miss you. I love thinking this thought because sometimes we tell ourselves that we have to be perfect. We have to show up looking our best. We have to act our best. We can't be needy. We can't be clingy. We can't be anything unattractive. We can't be crazy. Like we have to hide all our crazy, clingy, needy selves. And what I want to share with you is that what is meant for you isn't going to miss you. Or another way of thinking about this is that you can't mess up what's meant to be. I know when I was single and I was dating Caleb, there were times when I was kind of cray cray. I just didn't show up my best self and I was kind of crazy and a little bit pushy and a little bit demanding and just not my best self. And a lot of times I easily could have pushed the wrong guy away, but because Caleb was the right guy for me, he forgave me. He held so much grace for me and he just allowed me to be crazy and loved me anyways. And that's just kind of what I want to share with you. Like a lot of times we tell ourselves we have to show up perfect. We don't. What is meant for you is not going to miss you. And that statement kind of holds true for the concept of marriage in general, that a lot of you may be worried that, you know, you did something wrong in your 20s and now you're never going to get married. But listen, if God has marriage for you, you are not going to miss it. And in his perfect timing, he will give it to you. And what I like to say is that you should guarantee yourself it's going to happen, that you're not going to quit until it happens for you. What is meant for you is not going to miss you. What I want you to think about is that a lot of times we meet a guy and it doesn't go well with him, and we just instantly tell ourselves, oh my gosh, I'm never going to get married. That is not a high value thought. And that thought ultimately comes from this lack thought or this scarcity thought that there's a shortage of good men, that it has to work out with this guy. And if it doesn't work out with this guy, then it's just never going to happen. That scarcity thought or that thought that there's just not enough good men is not high value. Like it's so much more high value to say, I know I'm going to meet another amazing guy. A woman who believes that she is high value knows that she will be able to attract tons of amazing guys, that she will have tons of options. And if it doesn't work out with one guy, she's not stressed because she knows there's another guy around the corner. I remember when this started happening to me. Remember, I told you I was working with a high value woman coach. And I remember when like things didn't work out with one particular guy. And I remember having the thought, well, I'm sure I'll meet a new guy at least by next month. Like for sure, I'll meet a new guy in another month, another amazing, cool guy in another month. Like I was not telling myself that this was it, that I'm never going to meet someone. I was not hopeless at all. I was full of high value thoughts that there was plenty of good men and I would meet another good one like in no time. So what I want you to do instead is find a story that you love. Like I loved that story that I would meet a new guy next month. Like in a month, like in a month's time, I'll meet another amazing cool guy. This is not gonna last long. This like silent period where I'm not talking to a guy. I know I'll be talking to another amazing guy next month. That was a story that I loved. And I want you to find a story that you love. Like, what is it something that you can tell yourself that just feels juicy and good to you, right? Like, I have one client that you heard from the other day, Heather, and she said, like, one of the stories that she tells herself is that every date makes me a better date. So even if she goes on a date that she's not particularly like interested in, she knows that she herself is now better at dating and more like savvy and siren like at dating because she went on this particular date. And that's a story that she loves. So what I want you to do is think to yourself, what could I tell myself that feels good? You know, if a guy doesn't text you back, what could you tell yourself that feels good? I never tell myself he's not interested in me, like he's totally ghosting me, like another guy that wasn't interested. I just don't tell myself that. If someone doesn't text me back, I always tell myself, you know what? I should pray for them because something must be going on. Like they must be stressed about something else terrible could have happened to them. I always tell myself that I know people love to talk to me. And if I haven't heard from someone, I am not going to tell myself a negative story. I'm going to tell myself a story that feels good to me because you get to choose your own story. So find a story that you love. When things don't go your way, find a story that you love that makes the situation feel powerful to you. That's high value thinking. Another thing that you could think to yourself as a story is that every no is bringing you closer to a yes. So, like I said, every time if something negative happens or it doesn't work out in your favor, like if it doesn't work out with a particular guy, every no is bringing you closer to your yes. Meaning that as time goes on and as you meet and get to know different guys and they turn out not to be the one, you're actually closer to the one who is the one. Every no is bringing you closer to your yes. That's a story that you could tell yourself. Like, I am so much closer to meeting my person. And one day I will meet my person. And that's a story that I love. And that's an example of high value thoughts. A high value person looks at something negative and says, no, how is this benefiting me? And doesn't even choose to think of it as negative. One of the things that we often do is, I'm going to tell you a story that we often tell ourselves, is that we make it mean something negative about us, like our opinion of ourselves is incredibly fragile. High value thinking does not let other people determine how you feel about yourself. You know that you're valuable. You know that you're desirable. You know that you're beautiful. You know that you are worthy of love and that love is coming from you, and you don't let other people's opinion affect you. That's high value thinking. Another thought that is particularly high value is it is working. And obviously, the low value thought is it's just not working. I'm back at square one. No, You're not at square one. You're closer to your person. You are even more of a siren now. You are even more alluring and mesmerizing and magnetic now. All of this is working. I am finding men to talk to. I'm finding amazing men. Amazing godly men exist. And so if something happens with a guy, you're not even really all that bothered. Because one of the things a high value woman does is she does not give a man significance in her life until he has earned it. He has to choose her. He has to show that he adores her. He has to pursue her before she even starts to think that he's her person. He doesn't gain that place on the pedestal where this is the guy for me until he's earned it. And until then, he's just one of the guys you're talking to. He doesn't get that significance until he deserves it, until he's chosen you and shown that he is worthy of you. So when a guy kind of flakes on you or doesn't really treat you the way you truly want to be treated, then it maybe just wouldn't even bother you that much because you haven't given him the pedestal place of this is the one for me. You're holding on to that significance for when he's earned it. So you're very loosely holding on to your approval of this guy. He has to earn that first. He doesn't just get it just because he's a cute guy. You're saving that place. That person who is for you is going to choose you and pursue you and adore you. And that is when you open up your heart to him. And all along, all throughout this journey, you're telling yourself, it's working. It's working. I'm getting closer. Time is passing and I'm going to meet my person soon. And that's high value thoughts. So what I want you to think about is how can you up-level your thoughts right now? If you're listening to this podcast, I know that you are a woman who desires to be a high value woman. You're the type of woman that wants to be a woman who is seen as a woman who is after God's own heart, a woman who is living a life worthy of the calling she's received, a woman who pleases the Lord in every way. And part of that is taking captive every thought and bringing it into subjection to Christ. A part of that is knowing that God can do more than you ask or imagine. A part of that is knowing that he is working everything out for your good. To those who are called according to his purpose, he is working everything out for your good. That your heavenly Father loves you with an enduring and unfailing love. And he has a plan. The days of your life were written out in his book before they came to be. And nothing is a mistake. Nothing happening right now is not according to his will. His will is being worked out in your life. We're not going to say it's not working because God is working in your life right now. And all we're asking him is for his will to be done. So when things don't work out with a guy, or when time has passed by, or when you feel like you're getting old, you rely on the fact that God's will is being done in your life and accept what is. Accept what is. You accept the circumstances, admit to yourself what it is that you want, then take aligned action, resigning yourself to God's timeline and trusting in his timeline. So let me ask you this question, or let me answer this question for you. Why would a high value woman hire me as a dating coach? I'll tell you why. Because she wants to. Because she wants to. A high value woman knows what she wants and gives it to herself. And she wants a guide, a mentor, someone to celebrate with. She wants an expert brain on her love life. She wants to invest in this dream. She has a dream for love. She wants to get married and she wants to invest in it the same way she's invested in other areas. She gets mentorship and guidance and accountability in other areas of her life. And this area of her life is no different. This is one of the most important areas of her life. And she gets mentorship the same way she does in other areas of her life. And she takes advantage of every opportunity that draws her closer to what she wants. And what she wants is a husband. That is why a high value woman would hire me. Because she wants to. Because she wants mentorship. She wants to make the investment. Because she does what she wants. She prioritizes what she wants in her life. You will never regret investing in your dream for love. You will never regret that. It will be the biggest blessing of your life. These are high value thoughts of a high value woman. Let's get you married, sis.